Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond, broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
So when I was working on Selena, the series for Netflix, to play the role of Abraham Quintanilla, I put on a specific amount of weight, which I was fine doing, but also realizing it could be difficult to get that weight off. I got back into my physical regimen with James Leja, but I was still having trouble with just those last amounts. And that's when I got to meet Arturo from Laredo Medical Weight Loss Clinic. And just the products that he gave me kind of put me over the edge. I feel great about myself.
Hi, I'm Don McLaughlin. I'm a candidate for House District 80, which consists of Webb County, Uvalde County, Dimmitt County, Zavala County, Frio County, and Atascosa County. I'm also a small businessman, and I know what it takes to run a small business. And for too long, we've had too much government regulation coming into our small business and making it tougher and tougher for us to survive and get by. And that's one of the things I hope to change. Small business is the backbone of the state of Texas, and we need to make sure it thrives and that they have the support they need in government and less government regulation.
Back at you in Gloves Off, and today I have a great guest, great martial artist that's starting a road. It's fantastic. Her name is Brianna Sanchez. She's from Laredo but lives in San Antonio. And good morning. How are we doing?
Good morning. Doing good.
Good. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I started karate when I was 7.
Good.
A year after that, did jiu-jitsu. And then when I was about 12, I saw a girl fighting on Instagram in the cage. And it was MMA. It was youth MMA. And I told my coach, I want to try that. Because I was already doing karate and jiu-jitsu. Just got to put them together now. And so he told me, hey, let's wait till you're 13 so you're ready. And so when I got turned 13, we started training for MMA, and now I'm a 2-time silver medalist, world silver medalist, and I'm a national champion in MMA.
Beautiful. Congratulations on what you've done. I think that what you have to tell people is that, there's a lot of martial arts out there. Karate, taekwondo, it's throughout. But once you start getting into the combat sports, the combat element of it, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, salat, or MMA, the women go down.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard, right, to find.
Yeah. No, at Worlds, the guys brackets, they're 30 people.
Yeah.
They're fighting 30 kids, and for the women, max I've seen is like 15.
Yeah.
In one bracket.
And that's a lot. You see, it's grown. I remember back in the 90s, we used to have a boxing club both in Dallas and here, and we had some girls on both sides, and for them to get 5 bouts, it was like 2-3 years in the making. It was very hard. You knew all the women, and in Texas, is yours going to be there? We used to call everybody up, and it's a challenge sport, and now boxing has grown and everything else.
Yeah.
How do you feel about training in boxing, going the boxing route as well? You're young.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's fun. I'm hoping to go to Golden Gloves out in San Antonio in February.
You will? Okay, good. Beautiful.
So I'm hoping to do that. Hoping to get something there. Boxing, I really just started doing it to improve my striking for MMA, obviously.
Sure.
But then, as I started getting more, I was like, okay, I kind of want to do this a little bit more competitively now.
Sure. What club are you training out of in San Antonio?
Box.
Which one?
Box Beat.
Box Beat. Okay. Because in MMA you're gonna need your boxing skills. So and right now you're young, you're an amateur. I would pick up all those skills now, like if it was hot water, because you have a long road ahead of you.
Yeah. So along with that, I do wrestling, and then I still do the karate and jiu-jitsu. So I'm just trying to get in as many different combat martial arts in there to make it all together.
Absolutely. And then because number one, you win all the championships. You see, a lot of people don't know this. If the more amateur championships that you have, the more amateur bouts that you have, once you turn pro, your chances of becoming a lot better is. the mistake I see is people never had any fights in amateur, and all of a sudden they go pro, and you're like,
no experience.
No
They're
experience.
just first time getting in the cage. Yeah, I've
Yep.
seen that. I've seen that quite a bit with some of the adults.
Yeah,
They just go straight into pro and they got not a lot of experience in the amateurs.
absolutely. I'm glad that you're seeing that. I'm glad that you understand that, and you have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you.
And we're here in Laredo. We're proud of you. And those that do not know, they should know, because we have a lot of great talent. We have a lot of great fighters. We have a lot of people that are moving forward. Tell me, explain. This is which one?
This is my national belt from this year.
Sure, sure.
This camera?
Yeah, either or. That one too.
Yeah. This was in April of this year.
Okay.
And it was out in California. And I fought two girls, I'm pretty sure. And this is the national belt for United States MMA.
Okay.
League. And then it's signed. So I went to Vegas this month, and I went to go visit the UFC Performance Institute out there in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And so I met Karate Hottie, Cody Steels,
Sure.
Forrest Griffin, and then Marab there in Vegas. So that was pretty cool. So it's signed.
It's beautiful. And how about the medal?
The medal is from Worlds of this year in August, out in Abu Dhabi. Fought 3 girls and came out with silver.
That was there more people in Abu Dhabi or no?
There was a lot. The one in the United States, it's pretty good. We have probably around 200 athletes at nationals, but the one in Abu Dhabi for Worlds, we're looking close to like 1,000 competitors and almost 100 countries. So that one's pretty cool because you have like kids from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. Sure. We've got kids coming from like China and India.
Absolutely, you have a lot. You have a lot more, and that's what I tell people with. Excuse me, with MMA, it has blown up. And the way they've promoted it is beautiful. Dana White's done an excellent job. Everybody else is just falling for it. Excuse me. And in other sports that are out there, it goes very, very hard. So nobody knows. If there's 6 schools in the whole United States, we're trying to move it up, and it's hard. The boxing commissions, Texas is the only boxing commission in the Department of Licensing and Regulation that allows it to be played. Yeah. So, but like again, but wait, it's very hard to get people inside. So it's a building process. Yeah. But it's beautiful that this is going on, and that you guys are involved in it, and more power to you. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And what's your next one? With Golden Gloves right now?
February, yeah. My next one is in November. It's state finals out in Dallas. It's with TKO. And so that one, I'm doing karate. Obviously, I'm doing like the point sparring and the katas. And then they have MMA for state. So I'm going to do that.
You can do MMA as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do the rules, of course, amateur and professional MMA rules change? What's the main differences you can't do? What strikes can you do?
For youth, across all leagues, there's no headshots. They want to protect for like concussions and stuff like that, CTE. So we don't get any headshots and we don't get any elbows. And then besides that, once you get to 16, 17, they allow knees. Just no like clinch knees where like I pull you down and knee you. But besides that, usually everything's the same. But with leagues, it varies. So like you've got IMAF, and they don't allow certain submissions on the ground. And you got Gamma, they don't allow certain submissions. So it just varies between leagues that you do.
Absolutely. But in Golden Gloves, you will hit to the head. But
yeah. For boxing, yeah, obviously they have headshots. But I guess they said because of the weight that we use on the gloves, for youth across all leagues, we use 7-ounce gloves, right? So they're kind of like the pro for boxing, right? A couple ounces less. And then they're a little bit more than pro for MMA. But it's right in between. But they said because of the weight, they don't want any headshots.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Safety first.
Yeah, and then it's kind of hard to wear a helmet and be rolling on the ground because sometimes it falls off. So they're like, we'll just do it all body shots. I think it's safe.
Absolutely. That's great. So November's your next one, and then you have Golden Gloves, and you're going to go Golden Gloves San Antonio, correct?
Yes. And between that, I have, in December, I start doing wrestling tournaments because it's my first year like wrestling actually. So in December.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Freestyle and folk style.
Have you ever seen any of the catch wrestling?
Yeah, actually, that's what I do. I do catch wrestling out in San Antonio with Combat City, and then
Who's the instructor?
Coach Val, Val Childs. And so there's not many catch wrestling tournaments. I know there's gonna be one in Texas soon. I'm pretty sure it's in San Antonio, but I'm not for sure. But I want to do some catch wrestling tournaments, but I've only done it for a couple months now. I started in like May, so I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to do catch wrestling tournaments.
You know, there's a lot of wrestlings throughout Europe. There's a lot of wrestlings. Yeah. Before it was called Greco-Roman, it was called French wrestling. In Savat, you have something called lutte parisienne, which was a street wrestling. It was more of a grappling, also the street. And they passed a law in 1860. You couldn't punch or kick in a street fight, or else you found yourself in the Foreign Legion, which was the army. So they'll throw people around, and so it became that. And I remember when I was in France, there was a lutte Buitrón, which was a kind of strength wrestling, kind of like sumo, and you got these guys, and they're big guys going, and they'll be projecting each other, and you're like, wow, it was great. You know, it was just like a strength, like they're grabbing each other, all of a sudden they'll pick them up. They'll just pick them up. It's like seeing Hulk Hogan throw somebody, but they were doing it in dirt. You know, and it was just, and it's
out there in the street.
They were out there in the dirt in the farm, you know, because it was a festival. So they had a big circle, and these guys would go in there and they'll chunk each other, but the dirt, it hurts, you know. But and you see that, and you're like, that all those different wrestlings became what we have now. And it's interesting that all the different cultures came here and became that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that they took something and put it together. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you're doing that. Congratulations on everything that you do.
Thank you.
And we will see you soon.
Yeah.
We will see you soon. Yeah. And anything else? What do you tell the young? You know, because they look up to you. You go to a school, you have the youngsters, and they start looking up to you. What do you tell them?
Tell them to stay dedicated. Like that's how I've gotten so far, is to stay dedicated. You know, without it, you're not gonna go anywhere. You got to stay dedicated. Try to practice every day, get better every day. Just even if it's a little bit, but stay dedicated to what you love.
You know, and we need that. We need a lot more of that competition. We need a lot more of that. Throughout, you know, Laredo has some has always produced great fighters. You're a product of Laredo, and you went out there and you produced. We've always had that, and congratulations to the families here in Laredo for producing it. Yeah. But we have to embrace that a little bit more in our city. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I know a couple of one kid from Laredo besides me. Went to Worlds, Jesus Cervantes, but he trains with Laredo Kickboxing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, nice guys.
Club.
Yeah, Sonny's a nice guy. And I've known him very well for many years. For about, his cousins used to come here. And then that's how I met him. Yeah. And he had just gotten here, and real nice guy. I'm glad they're doing it, because we need to do that. We need to produce more competitive, more competitors. Yeah. Karate's okay. The tournaments are okay. Yeah. If you want to do that, beautiful. I don't care whether you're doing that, judo, MMA, whatever. As long as you're doing something positive, correctly, and safely. Yeah. More power to you.
Yeah. Yeah, like Bears Karate. They go to the karate tournaments that
we do. Yeah, they always do. They've been, you know, there's schools that do that. Yeah. And there's schools that would go boxing, and there's schools that, you know, and you have to have that element. And it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, you know, you can get 10 kids that want to train. Out of those 10 kids, you're going to get one that's going to end up competing in a competitive sport. And then you get another 20 more, and you might get another one out of that. So it's very, very hard to get that. A lot of people say that all the kids that come in there are going to compete.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. And then out of those 2 kids, maybe one's going to stay dedicated the whole time, and the other might not.
Yeah, so. And it's always that way. But we have to always have a turn. Yeah. You know, we have to keep on moving it, and we need a whole community behind it to do that. Mm-hmm. And you know, you see wrestling in Irving. Every high school, when I was in high school in Irving, but I lived in Irving for such a long time, that every high school in Irving and in Dallas, the vast majority, had a wrestling club. Had a wrestling club, and they taught wrestling, and they did wrestling, and all of a sudden it started dissipating. And we have to bring those back. We have to bring back in here. I would love to see amateur savate, amateur boxing inside the schools. It's not going to hurt anybody. In fact, it's going to give them more dedication to produce better.
Yeah. So some of the colleges, I know Conor McGregor started a league through colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So UTSA in San Antonio has a amateur MMA team, and some other teams do out in Texas, and a couple in like Pennsylvania and stuff. So I know schools are trying to.
Yeah, we did that here with Savate back in the '90s. We broadcasted with the Department of Licensing and Regulations, so it became a league. We had Denton had a club, LC had a club, we had North Texas had a club, but they were so sporadically they couldn't. How can I say maintain the leagues?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. We have to have sports that can maintain the leagues and going into. I say boxing, because boxing it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's so many people. And from boxing, you can grab others. So, because like you're training in boxing, you're a great athlete. You already have dedication. That will be another avenue for you to go forward in.
Yeah.
And maintain that league and get interest from those kids to cross over.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we need that, but. It's still one of the safest sports. Boxing is one of the safest sports that there is, and people say no, there isn't. There's a lot safer than baseball, football, soccer, tennis, basketball. It's a lot safer.
Yeah,
the injuries are less.
For sure, because I feel like the refs a little bit more careful. Yes. Stop the fights, make sure everything's running properly.
Absolutely. Listen, it was a pleasure having you here, and like to say that, and. To your mom for the dedication that your mom's always brought to taking you in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a lot of moms, that won't take their kids.
Yeah.
And they might enroll them, but all of a sudden
they don't want to take them to competition.
They don't want to take them anywhere.
Yeah.
They're like, and the kids lose. I guess interest. Yeah.
Yeah. I thank my mom and my dad for that. They saw the potential early on. I wanted to compete like a couple of months after I joined karate, and they're like, okay. And so, they just kept on, okay, you want to do this? Okay, we'll put you in it. We'll take you to it. So they saw the dedication, and they were like, we'll let her have.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're thinking with a good head on your shoulders of doing amateur, cross-training into boxing, cross-training into this, because my goal is MMA, so I'm going to get all the different skills that I have now that I'm young, instead of going over there, and then hopefully we'll see you in the pros, and your name's going to get big. Yes, we will. Yeah. So it's just time. Yeah. 15, you're 15, no?
Yeah, I'm 15, so can go pro at 18.
Yes, absolutely, especially here in Texas.
Yeah.
Well, once more, I want to thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Folks, we'll leave you with this. A great champion here, Brianna. And you all stay safe, be safe, and God bless you all, and have a great weekend.
God bless.
Bye.